Then they'd fly us from Amsterdam to Kuwait, right? And we get to Kuwait, they put us on these C-130 airplanes. They're those big gray airplanes with the propellers, you see flying around. And when you get in them, you sit on the sides, on the inside in this orange netting stuff, right? And the plane flies like this. The plane's like, and we had the Denver Broncos cheerleaders on our USO tour, right? And they travel in their cheerleading outfits, right? And yeah, and don't get ahead of me now. And the plane's like, and the girls are like, and the plane's like, and they're like, and it's like, I'm like, let's go Broncos! I don't even like them. I'm a Titans fan. My season ends at the draft. Yeah. And when I got home, my mom was she's like, because I'm like, I travel all the time, it's hard. And my mom looks at me and she goes, you know what, honey? She goes, I thought you'd go back to teaching. Now, first of all, I was not a good teacher. I taught, but I wasn't, like, Well, first of all, the first time I ever had to teach a class, I had to substitute teach, right? And I don't know if anybody here has ever been a substitute teacher, but I knew what kids expect from a sub. Like, you remember you were in school, and the teacher gets like a little bit of a bump on her belly. You're like, oh, hell yeah, she's pregnant. She'll be out of here in 6 weeks, and we'll get a new piece of shit in here, and we'll kick his ass. Remember, you couldn't wait for the sub, right? I couldn't wait. So I knew the kids were thinking that, so I'm nervous. I'm walking down the hallway with the principal right before I teach the first class I'd ever taught. Right before I walk in the classroom, the principal looks at me, and he goes, hey, just want to let you know that some of the students in this class are on drugs, but we don't know which ones they are. I was like, what, man? He goes, yeah, you can't tell anymore. All these kids act like freaks. We just found a note in a locker, so we're pretty sure it's in this class. I was like, you can't tell who's... Come here, man. So I walk out in front of the class. I'm like, hey, everybody. And they're like, hey. And I went, and like 3 kids are like, I was like, bam, 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 get out. The kids are walking out. They're like, traitor. I'm like, whatever, dude, beat it. I got a job. I made $85 a day, you little shit. Hell, I knew they were smoking pot. I sold it to them. That's not true. That's not true. That's not on this album. I have children. But here's what my mom said. My mom goes, you know what, honey? She goes, I always thought you'd be a doctor. My mom said that to me. My mom's known me since the second I popped out. Y'all have known me for about 40 minutes. At any time during this show, did you look at the person next to you and go, you know what? I'll bet he would have been a fantastic doctor. A doctor? Are there any doctors in here? Are you a doctor? What kind of doctor? Psychologist. Psychologist? You're having a good time watching this, aren't you? I told my mom, I'm like, I couldn't be a doctor for 2 reasons. 1, school. 2, I giggle at shit. Like, you can't be a real doctor if you giggle. You know what? I couldn't be in my office sitting there and some woman comes in and she's like, that's how I picture her being. Hi, Dr. Collier. I'm here for my breast exam. You're damn right you are. Come in here, let me see those things, you know? Hong Kong, ping, ping, tang, 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 tang. You can't do that. You know, some guy comes in, there's something wrong with my wiener. You get your shit and get out of my office. You're not covered under my plan. Should have gone gold. Now tell your wife to come back in here and let me check them titties again, you know what I mean?